Tesla CFO Zachary Kirkhorn is stepping down after more than 13 years at Tesla.
Zack Kirkhorn has been at the heart of everything that's been good for Tesla, frankly, in the last 4 years as CFO since being named in 2019. He was a rookie then, an unknown quantity, but what he's done is basically brought regular profit to Tesla, done smart capital raises, and every investor and analyst I've spoken to has been a big fan of his in that time.
Big news today, Tesla's current master of coin, formerly with the title of CFO, to which he was appointed in early 2019, same year this YouTube channel started, is officially moving on after 13 years at the company. Wishing Zack all the best. He's an absolute G. I have no idea how anyone manages to last that long in such a high pressure environment. Maybe Zack's just been offered an opportunity you simply can't resist over at Lucid or Nikola. I presume he's going to be taking a little bit of time off to recover before then. In this video, Wall Street analysts and the finance media react, and I have quite a few thoughts. Oh, and speaking as the master of coin for SMR Enterprises, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention I have a load of exclusive content available over on Patreon, getting close to 350 videos and counting. Click the link in the pinned comment to join. I'm fast building up a library of video content and other exclusive posts to my ex-subscribers, formerly known as Twitter. And I can confirm that 100% of the proceeds from both of these revenue streams will either be invested in Tesla stock or help fund my move to Austin, Texas, so I can bring you guys even more Tesla-centric content. And remember, I don't need the money, but I'll take it. Question is, do you want to see the exclusive content?
Tesla shares down today after the EV maker revealed in a filing that Chief Financial Officer Zachary Kirkhorn has stepped down from the company as of August 4th. Kirkhorn served as CFO for the past 4 years and has been with the company for 13 years. For more on what this means for Tesla moving forward, we want to welcome in Colin Rush, Oppenheimer Senior Analyst. Colin, thank you for being here today. At first blush, sometimes when you learn about a CFO suddenly departing, that could be bad news. Not seeing it really take a hit on Tesla stock today. What's the significance of this?
You know, from our perspective, there's a couple of things going on here. One, working at Tesla is an intense experience by all reports, and so I'm sure there was some element of burnout that the departing CFO had here, having been there for 13 years.
I don't understand how anyone can work in such an intense environment for that long without completely breaking, and I do mean that. Tesla is one of the most difficult places to work on the planet, especially in such high pressure positions. If you want easy, Tesla is not the place. If you want meaningful, certainly is. Congratulations to Zack Kirkhorn, Tesla's current master of coin, not CFO, for his 13 years at the company, including a number of years as CFO and then as master of coin. Wish him all the best in his future endeavors. I gotta say once again, don't know how the fuck anyone lasts for 13 years working in such an intense environment. Zack posted this on LinkedIn. This morning, Tesla announced that I've stepped down from my role as Chief Financial Officer, again, formerly CFO. He's currently the master of coin, just like Elon Musk. Formerly CEO, is now Techno King of Tesla, but hey, whatever. Succeeded by our Chief Accounting Officer, Vaibhav Taneja. Sorry about the pronunciation. Being a part of this company is a special experience, and I'm extremely proud of the work we've done together since I joined over 13 years ago. As I shift my responsibilities to support this transition, I want to thank the talented, passionate, and hardworking employees at Tesla who have accomplished things many thought not possible. I also want to thank Elon for his leadership and optimism, which has inspired so many people. Speaking of Elon, he posted this on X. I would like to thank Zack Kirkhorn for his many contributions to Tesla over the course of 13 often difficult years. Much appreciated, and best wishes for the next stage of his career.
Also, promoting the chief accounting officer, keeps the cultural integrity intact of the financial organization, and someone that's been involved here with the company for 4 years. And so this feels like a potential natural evolution of the financial organization for a company that continues to see a certain amount of turnover just as folks work through their positions and then decide that it's time to move on after a certain period.
And Colin, I want to ask you, though, one of the questions that's come up is just what this does to succession planning for Tesla. Do you think that this causes a serious concern for the company?
Well, they say there's no such thing as a dumb question. I beg to differ. Do you think a producer was in her ear? Please throw out the words serious concerns. We need some FUD here. A guy who's been working at the company for 13 years, moving on to a new role. Yahoo's gonna Yahoo.
I don't think so. I mean, the company has not had an issue attracting talent. It's been one of the more successful companies here in the past decade, if not the most successful from a stock appreciation perspective. And so there has not been an issue on bringing new folks into the organization and bringing very talented folks, particularly on the engineering side. Within the financial organization, it's a little less transparent in terms of who's doing what and who are the key players. But by all intents and purposes, the company's done a very admirable job of developing an efficient, lean financial organization that's really served the mission of the organization.
And if you could just bring us up to speed from your perspective of how Tesla is monetizing its IP. That is, it has this big moat. It's been collecting data on its customers for a decade, maybe longer. Other competitors don't have that advantage, at least in terms of length of time. And then it's going about this in various ways. We have the Dojo investment. We have full service driving. How much is this paying off, and what's the timeline to really make this pay off in terms of revenues for the company?
I mean, it's an interesting question in terms of where their IP is. We really start with the basic material science on the battery level and how that understanding of material science goes through the entire powertrain into the vehicles, and then how to make vehicles, and then how you navigate those vehicles on the road. That's one whole segment of IP. On top of that, they've developed actually a quite nice stationary energy storage business where they're monetizing IP there. And now as we move deeper into the AI space, we'll see how they actually monetize this. So far, the full self-driving has been a little bit limited in terms of the ROI for them. They've invested an awful lot of money over a number of years, and they still have they have some revenue to show for it, but there's an awful long way to go for the organization.
Speaking of Tesla's long-term AI investment, Elon tweeted this today. I think we may have figured out some aspects of AGI. The car has a mind. Not an enormous mind, but a mind nonetheless. So as I've said in the past, I think the progress of Tesla Vision, which will ultimately be the foundational building block of artificial general intelligence, will progress from completely and utterly brain dead to a Tesla short seller, to a potato, to a dumbass, to below average intelligence, to average, to above average, to a genius, to superhuman, and ultimately to smarter than the entirety of the human race, aka artificial superintelligence. It will take time. But this is how I see things playing out. This may go down as one of the biggest and most intelligent investments of all time. Who else can catch up to Tesla in terms of solving AGI? Who else already has the seed for AGI? Who else has developed vision, which includes perception, planning, and action in the real world? No one.
But the key areas for us have been in terms of building this user base on the vehicles with the optionality around some of these other products that they're building around the vehicles, and then moving into both the utility space and the home energy space with the stationary storage platform and a little bit of solar.
And Colin, I want to ask you, we also saw news about Elon Musk possibly having to have surgery. He, I don't even know if we call this a tweet now, tweeted this, I suppose, for lack of a better word. I don't know if there's new lingo for the X platform. Is that a concern when you think about both this news with regard to the CFO and then just potential health issues for Elon Musk?
To be clear, this is what Elon tweeted. The exact date for the fight with Mark Zuckerberg is still in flux. I'm getting an MRI of my neck and upper back tomorrow. For those who don't know, Elon Musk at a birthday party years ago tried to and successfully threw a sumo wrestler and also fucked his neck/back, which itself required surgery. Elon continues in this tweet. May require surgery before the fight can happen. We'll know this week. Musk's getting an MRI to make sure that if he fights Zuckerberg, he's not going to fuck anything up even more. And if that's the case, he may require some proactive surgery ahead of the fight to ensure that the risk of serious injury is massively reduced. The way Yahoo Finance seems to be framing this is that this is necessary surgery. It's not. It's just making sure that no surgery is required before the fight. And maybe it will be. But these two things are not quite the same.
Yeah, I mean, there's principal risk for this organization with Elon, right? If he ends up having to step away or step down, I think there's certainly a lot of investors that really see him as a visionary that's pulled this whole organization together and continues to lead it. I have a hard time believing that he would step away even for illness for a very long period of time. It seems that he's been devoted to building these companies and really leading Tesla. And so as that situation evolves with his personal health, health, we'll have to reevaluate. But I have to imagine that he'll continue to be involved as much as he can. And there's also been, I think, a more robust infrastructure built out for the company in terms of senior management and a couple of layers of senior management. We certainly saw that on display at the Analyst Day in March in Texas. And so I think, they're mitigating that in a variety of ways as the organization grows. But it's hard for me to believe that Elon would step away for very long unless really forced to.
And Tesla has been a leader in taking the reins in price cuts. They've been first to market on a number of different models and kind of paved the way for other automakers. Is that round of price cuts, do you think, over now, or is that something that we're going to see maybe ramp up later in the year?
We've seen actually fairly strong sell-through on vehicles through the first part of the year, and part of that has been modulation on pricing. As we get into the back half of the year, and we look at where interest rates hopefully flatten out here in the short term, we'll see how vehicle sell-through continues on. For Tesla, they had been capturing a fairly substantial premium, and as they've ramped up a fair amount of volume on the production side, they've been taking share from a lot of folks, and sometimes you have to incentivize the market to adopt the products in a different way when you're taking share that aggressively. And so my sense is that we're getting close to the end of those price cuts short term.
I tend to agree. Of course, I don't know. No one knows, and if they tell you otherwise, they're full of shit. But we've seen Tesla price cuts have stabilized. Pricing has barely moved for months now. This was after pretty significant price cuts to keep selling through production as the economic shit really hit the fan. Just a reminder, interest rates have approximately doubled just about everywhere, meaning the cost to finance a Tesla vehicle has approximately doubled, and a lot of consumers during economic uncertainty will put off the purchase of big ticket items, especially a new vehicle. Doesn't mean the demand's gone away. It just means a lot of consumers are thinking, well, don't know if I've got a job, don't know if I can pay my mortgage here. Let's just sit tight. I'll put off that new car purchase for a year or two and we'll reassess things then. In short, the automotive industry right now is about as bad as it gets, unless, of course, World War III actually happens, in which case all bets are off. But assuming that doesn't play out, I don't expect there's going to be much more pressure. It's about as bad as it's going to get. That being said, over time, as Tesla continues to scale up production and drive their actual cost to produce vehicles down, don't be surprised if they continue to aggressively drive prices down, maintaining approximately the same margins as they have today. This is in Tesla's best interest. The more vehicles they have on roads collecting data, and that in the future can be turned into robotaxis with an over-the-air update, the better.
There's going to be an awful lot of activity around share gains and shifting in terms of which vehicle makers really do ultimately succeed. What we continue to see, though, from Tesla is that they've innovated on the technology and the cost side ahead of peers and continue to drive market share just by having structural cost advantages in terms of the vehicles and on the manufacturing front. And so they have the option to. I'm not sure we're going to see it here in the back half of the year, but they certainly have the option to drive share with those price cuts if needed.
And Colin, I know in your last research that you all put out in late July, one of the things that you were questioning was just Tesla's timeline for monetization of AI. What are you looking for from Tesla with regard to that now?
I mean, the first application on the AI is the full self-driving, and so they've been able to roll out a certain amount of functionality. What we really want to see is the actual use of the investments that they're making in terms of compute power into other areas, and it still seems premature to speculate on where that actually ends up. But the first one is on the full self-driving functionality, and they've done a reasonable job with that, but certainly are substantially later than they had anticipated in terms of being able to bring out fully autonomous vehicles. And so that's the first one that we'd look at, and then we'd be looking for an incremental monetization from the Jojo investment down the line, but it's hard to tell just yet where it's going to come from.
So Tesla's going to get two massive returns on their Dojo investment. The first will be accelerating the solving of and the never-ending improvement of the capabilities of full self-driving. Give or take this time next year, maybe a little bit later. Toward the end of the year at worst, Tesla are aiming to have about 100 exaflops of compute. That's a lot. And this appears to be the limiting factor. They've got plenty of data now. They just don't have enough training compute. As you guys will have heard a million times, at least if you're a regular viewer of this channel, when the robotaxis awaken, holy fucking shit. If you'd like to see just exactly how much holy fucking shit, head over to Patreon, join at the investor level and above, and check out my Tesla valuation model. in which the implications of Tesla Robotaxi's awakening. First Robotaxi, late 2024. Still sticking to that prediction until new information becomes available. The valuation model contains projections for robotaxis throughout the entire decade. And it's no exaggeration to say the revenue and more importantly the profits from the robotaxi fleet awakening absolutely carry my fair valuation for Tesla. If you want to join Patreon, click the link in the pinned comment. But it won't end there. When Tesla has metric tons of compute available, Dojo as a service will become a thing. Just like Amazon Web Services started out as Amazon, solving one of their own internal problems, and then became the money printer of money printers, which itself is completely carrying Amazon's valuation. Dojo as a service over the long term, I believe, could be a $10-billion revenue stream per year. This is one of the noted exclusions in my Tesla valuation model. I know it's coming. I'm not including it. I like to build a bit of a buffer in there, but I'm just telling you guys, I have looked at the numbers here, and I think people are massively underestimating, in fact, just completely ignoring the potential for Dojo as a service. And that's not the primary reason for Dojo. The primary reason for Dojo is to solve autonomy. It's just a nice cherry on top, just like reusable rockets enabled Starlink. Starlink wasn't the purpose of reusable rockets, but hey, it was a business opportunity that was unlocked by solving reusable rockets. Just like Dojo as a service is a business opportunity that will be able to be built upon Tesla solving their own internal need for more training compute.
Yeah, you and I on this program, Bloomberg Technology, have used and talked about the term key man risk. And the thing that we talk about in the context of Zack was that he was one of just a handful of stated executive officers, right? You have Drew Baglino leading the powertrain and battery business. Tom Zhu has now come in over from China. But does the key man risk conversation now get amplified because Zack, who's been such a stable force, is now gone?
It's a very good question. So key man risk, yes, you can't ignore that. A CFO leaves a company, the stock comes down, you can't that makes complete sense. There is like an optionality, a risk reflected in a move like that. You never know exactly what's behind it. And yes, a CFO, and especially a CFO with the talent of Zack is a key man in an organization like that. Now, if you take a step back and look at how Elon Musk likes to manage the multiple businesses he has. He likes to be directly speaking to very technical people, so people like Drew typically. Then he likes to have a type of either a CFO or a chief operating officer who is in charge of running the shop. And that's the model of SpaceX. That's the model more or less of Tesla, with like no real COO, but like a Zack and potentially Tom running the business from a financial and operational and commercial perspective. And so that model, once again, is extremely resilient as long as you have this capability of harnessing talents and bringing them up the pyramid. And look at someone like Tom, like the trajectory in China at Tesla. It's very similar to the trajectory of Zack in the finance department. Like, these people came in very highly selected by Tesla, and amongst all these very high quality talents Tesla has, Tesla is extremely good at promoting very, very fast, very young talents.
This is a very important and accurate point here from Pierre. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, what your prior experience. If Tesla hires you and you demonstrate an ability to get shit done, you have a big brain, you use it to get results, you'll be offered more responsibility and promoted faster than you can imagine. Unlike many companies where there's gatekeepers, there's bureaucracy, there's structure. No, that's not how we do it. You haven't been here long enough. F that. At Tesla, if you get the results, you'll be promoted or at least offered the opportunity for more responsibility. And keep in mind, as we've heard earlier in this video, Tesla does have an ability to attract some of the world's best and brightest. In addition, they currently employ well over 100,000 people. Tesla really does have its pick of the bunch when it comes to extremely talented human capital, aka people. This isn't just limited to engineers. If you're incredibly capable and competent, driven and willing to work hard in a very difficult and intense environment, you know, if you work at Tesla, your abilities, your results will be rewarded. This is not always true at many other companies. So wishing Zack Kirkhorn all the best in whatever his next venture happens to be. I'm sure he'll need a little bit of time to rest, recuperate and recover first. Imagine if he turns up at Lucid or Nikola. Not going to happen. And as a Tesla stock investor, sad to see Zack go, but that being said, not a particularly big deal. Don't get me wrong, Zack is an absolute beast, as you'll have heard me say many times in the past, but I doubt this is an unplanned departure. And remember, Tesla has plenty of incredible talent with big brains and the ability to execute in an extremely high pressure environment, waiting in line. So farewell to Tesla's current master of coin. Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy. Wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it. You'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.